Hello everyone and welcome to the IWA-Forest Industry Pension Plan webinar on retiring from your pension plan. I'm Megan Turpening, your host for today's presentation. Before we begin, let's take a moment to get familiar with this webinar program. You should see a GoToWebinar control panel on the right side of your screen. This can be expanded and collapsed by clicking on the orange GoToWebinar arrow. That's just over here. We'll end today's webinar with a question and answer session. All questions are welcomed. Please submit your questions by typing them into the question section of the control panel. You may send in your questions at any time during the presentation, and we'll collect and answer them at the end of the webinar. We will try our best to answer all questions today if time allows. If we're unable to answer your question, we will follow up with you via email after the webinar. Today's presentation is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be emailed to you and available on the Plan Office website in just a few days. For today's webinar, we'll start off with an explanation of who the Plan Office is and how your pension plan works. We'll then move on to your different pension options and discuss how to apply for your pension. We'll close by opening the floor up for any questions. So let's begin. Once upon a time, over 45 years ago, most forest industry workers in BC had no pensions to speak of, aside from the Canadian Pension Plan. The lucky few who did have pensions were unable to transfer their pensions with them when they changed employers. But things were changing fast. The International Woodworkers Association, which is now merged into the USW, negotiated with forest industry associations to create an industry-wide pension plan for all union workers. This plan grew to become one of the top 3 private sector pension plans in BC and one of Canada's top 100 pension funds. And it's your plan today. When the plan was first created, a board of trustees was also created to oversee the pension plan. The trustees set the plan rules, all of which are outlined in the plan text. The trustees are required to act independently from the USW and industry associations, and their decisions are always made in the best interest of plan members and beneficiaries. They must also follow BC pension legislation. The board is split into representatives from both the USW and forest industry associations. As soon as the board was established, they hired an office to run the plans. And that's where I'm from, the Plan Office of the IWA-Forest Industry Pension and LTD plans. The trustees govern the Plan Office, and in turn the office carries out daily plan administration, including overseeing plan assets, collecting contributions, processing benefit payments, and answering questions and teaching members about their plans. The Plan Office is independent of the USW and industry associations. This means that we cannot change the plan text and simply administer the pension plan according to predetermined rules. We are the pension plan experts. If you have any questions or want to know more about your plan, contact us. Don't rely on your friends or coworkers for advice about the plan. Remember that school game telephone? Come directly to the source for your information. The trustees, like I said, have a responsibility to act in members' best interests. But you too have a responsibility to yourself and the Plan Office. To get the most out of your plan, you must keep in touch with the Plan Office. It is your responsibility to ensure that we always have your current address, phone number, email address, and beneficiary on file. So now you know more about us. Let's move on to how your pension plan works. The purpose of the pension plan is to provide a lifetime pension in retirement. It supplements additional income sources, including the Canada Pension Plan, Old Age Security, and your personal savings. Last year, we paid out $236 million to over 26,000 retirees and beneficiaries, so you can see that it is a valuable asset to members. A workplace pension plan is a savings plan developed by an employer or union, or in our case, both. Employers and employees pay contributions that are pooled together into a fund and invested for the long term. Members contribute to the plan during their working years and receive a monthly pension plan in retirement for their lifetime. Pension plans have tax advantages. Contributions made to the plan and any investment income earned on those contributions are not subject to income tax while they accumulate. However, taxes are payable when money is taken out of the fund, either as retirement income or lump sum withdrawals. The plan relies on a combination of contributions and investment returns to fund the plan. As a mature plan with an aging membership, we rely more on investment returns than contributions to fund benefit payments and plan expenses. There are many different kinds of pension plans. The IWA-Forest Industry Pension Plan is a target benefit plan. This means that your contributions do not reflect the exact value of your pension. Rather, your lifetime monthly pension is based on a formula which multiplies your years of credited service with the applicable benefit level for those years. The more years you work, the greater your pension will be. It is important to note that as with all target benefit plans, your pension in retirement may be adjusted up or down according to planned funding. The good news, the pension plan is currently fully funded on a going concern basis. Like I said, your pension income is based on your credited years of service and the benefit level for those years. When you work 1,500 covered hours in a calendar year, you will receive 1 full year of credited service. The benefit level has been adjusted over the years, so it ranges between $35 and $60, depending on when you worked. The current benefit rate is $60 per month for 1 year of credited service. Your monthly pension in retirement is based on a pension formula. This formula multiplies your years of credited service with the benefit rate for each year. This calculation does not take into account the various pension options, so your actual pension may vary depending on the type of spousal or beneficiary coverage you select at retirement. Here is an example of how your pension is calculated. This calculation is for a member with 26 years of credited service. As the benefit level changed throughout this member's career, they will receive a total of $1,390 per month for their lifetime. And you can see that's multiplying the benefit level by the number of years they worked at that benefit level and then totaling it all up. At retirement, you'll be asked to select a pension option. These options differ according to the amount of beneficiary coverage. So before I explain the different pension options, let's first take a moment to understand the terms spouse and beneficiary. Simply put, a beneficiary is the person who is entitled to a death benefit following your death. This person is most often, but not necessarily, your spouse. In Canada, the legal definition of spouse differs by province. In British Columbia, your spouse is defined as the person you are married to, or the person you have been living with for the past continuous 2 years in a marriage-like relationship. So in essence, a common law spouse. A side note here for any divorced or separated members. Under the BC Family Law Act and other equivalent provincial legislation, your pension is considered family property. This means that in the event of a divorce or separation, your former spouse may be entitled to a share of the pension that you earned while you were married, or of common law during the period that you lived together in a marriage-like relationship. The amount your former spouse is entitled to is usually specified in a court order or separation agreement. When the plan office receives notification of a separation agreement or court order dividing your pension, we are required by law to comply. We will pay your former spouse's portion directly to them. When a former spouse is entitled to a benefit from the plan, they are called a limited member. There is a one-time fee of $500 to administer the division of pension and establish a limited member account. This amount is to be divided between you and your former spouse. Whether or not you have a spouse at retirement will determine the pension options available to you. If you have a spouse, pension legislation requires that you select a pension option that provides lifetime coverage to your spouse following your death, unless your spouse signs a waiver giving up their right to that coverage. If you have an eligible dependent as defined under Canada Revenue Agency rules, you can appoint them as beneficiary of the survivor benefit, but again, only if your spouse signs a form waiving their right to the survivor benefit. All right, let's move on now to your pension options. When you apply for your pension, you will be asked to select a pension option. Once you begin to receive your monthly payments, you cannot change your choice. The options differ by the type of coverage provided to your surviving spouse or beneficiary, your age at the time of your application, and your membership status. All pension options are payable for your lifetime. Your monthly pension income will be adjusted according to the option you choose. The greater your spouse's or beneficiary's coverage, the lower your monthly pension payments will be. Let's start off with the most straightforward pension option, Straight Life. Under the Straight Life option, you'll receive a pension for your lifetime. While this option gives you the highest monthly pension, no further payments will be made after your death, not even to your surviving spouse or estate. This means that if your spouse or children outlive you, they will not receive any benefit payments from the plan following your death. Note that if you have a spouse and wish to select this option, your spouse must sign a form waiving their right to a lifetime survivor benefit, and this form must also be notarized. The next option to look at is the lifetime pension with a guarantee. With this option, you select a guarantee period for your spouse or other designated beneficiary. You'll receive a pension for your lifetime, and following your death, your beneficiary will continue to receive monthly pension payments for the remainder of the previously selected guarantee period. You can choose between 5, 10, and 15-year guarantee periods, and this guarantee period starts on the date of your retirement. So that's the date of your retirement and not the date of your death. The guarantee options are considered short-term security for a dependent. If your named beneficiary passes away before the guarantee period expires, you may and should elect another beneficiary. If you and your beneficiary both were to pass away at the same time, say as a result of a car crash, we would pay the remaining payments of that guarantee period to the estate. The most important thing to remember with any of the guarantee options is that if you pass away after the guarantee period expires, no further benefits are payable from the plan. For example, if you select a life with a 15-year guarantee period and you die 16 years after retirement, no further benefits are payable to your spouse or other beneficiary or estate as the guarantee period has expired. Again, if you have a spouse and wish to select this option, your spouse must sign a form waiving their right to a lifetime survivor benefit. And finally, there's the joint and survivor option. This option is only available for members who have a spouse or common law spouse. If you do not have a spouse, this option is not available to you. If you select this option, you will receive a lifetime pension and financially protect your spouse. Following your death, your spouse, if alive, will receive a monthly pension from the plan for the rest of their life. Depending on the option you choose, your spouse will receive between 60 to 100% of your pension income. Should your spouse die before you, there would be no further benefits upon your passing, with one exception, the extra guarantee option. So you can also choose to add a 10-year guarantee period to the 60% joint and survivor pension option. With this guarantee option, if you die within 10 years of collecting your pension, your spouse will continue to receive monthly pension payments equal to 100% of your lifetime pension for the remainder of the 10-year guarantee period. Once the guarantee period expires, your spouse's pension will be reduced to 60% of your pension income. In this case, if your spouse dies before the end of the 10-year guarantee period, you can select another beneficiary to receive a pension for the remainder of that guarantee period. It's important to note here that if you choose a joint and survivor option and then divorce or separate from your spouse, you cannot change your option, your pension option. So now that you know the different options that are available, let's go through some scenarios. Let's say that you die 8 years after beginning a $1,500 monthly pension from the plan. Excuse the morbid topic, but that is what we are talking about today. If you chose the straight life option, there's no beneficiary coverage, and so no further benefits payable. If you chose the life pension with a 5-year guarantee period, again, no further benefits will be payable to your beneficiary, and this is because the guarantee period has expired. If you chose a life pension with a 15-year guarantee period, your beneficiary will receive a $1,500 monthly pension for 7 more years until the expiration of the guarantee period. Following those 7 years, no further benefits will be payable. If you choose the 100% joint and survivor pension, your spouse will receive a $1,500 monthly pension for the remainder of their life. If you chose a 60% joint and survivor pension with that 10-year guarantee, your spouse will receive a $1,500 monthly pension for 2 years following your death. After those 2 years and the expiration of the 10-year guarantee period, their monthly pension will be reduced to $900 for the remainder of their life. Now, there is some nuance to the numbers shown here. The greater your spousal or beneficiary coverage, the lower your monthly pension will be. So in this example, if you chose the 100% joint and survivor pension, your monthly pension income will be lower than if you chose the straight life option by a small amount. And it's up to you to choose which option works best for you and your family. Members who have not worked very long in the industry will receive a smaller pension from the plan. If the lump sum cash value of your pension is below the legislation threshold, currently set at around $11,000, then you have the option to receive either a monthly benefit for your life, or you have the option of transferring your benefit out of the plan. For members who worked very few hours in the plan and have earned a monthly pension of less than $25 per month, those members will be given a one-time cash payout of the value of their pension and will end their membership in the plan. So now a brief word about changing beneficiaries. If you select a joint and survivor option, so an option with no guarantee, your beneficiary cannot be changed after the start date of your pension, and your beneficiary cannot be replaced even if your spouse dies before you. If you select a life pension with a guarantee option, then you can change your beneficiary, but only at any time prior to the expiration of the guarantee period. One of the benefits of this plan is the option for early retirement. The normal age of retirement from the plan is 65. However, you also have the option of retiring as early as age 55. All active members are entitled to the subsidized early retirement benefit. If you are an active member between the ages of 55 and 65, you are eligible to receive between 82 and 100% of your full pension for the duration of your retirement. While your monthly pension benefit is reduced with this option, you are actually receiving a higher value as you receive your pension for a longer period of time. So the table on this slide shows the applicable reductions. Currently, half of all retired members receive this subsidized early retirement benefit. If you are a deferred member or an inactive member, so deferred or inactive members are members who used to be members of the plan and work for a participating employer of the plan, but then they left the industry and chose to keep their benefit in the plan. So they haven't worked for a while, but will still receive a benefit from the plan in the future. So for those members, you have the option of receiving a normal pension from the plan beginning at age 65 or an actuarially reduced pension as early as age 55. The reduced payment reflects the extra years of pension income. So the table on this slide shows the actuarial reductions for deferred members. Because government benefits begin at age 65, you can choose to receive a greater pension amount from the plan prior to age 65 and a smaller amount after age 65. The difference between the amounts paid before and after age 65 is intended to make up the difference that you'll receive from old age security. And this supplemented early retirement option is available with most of the other pension options. Let's take a look at what happens if you continue to work after receiving a pension from the plan. Under income tax rules, you cannot receive a pension from the plan and also earn credited service in the plan at the same time. If you retire and begin to receive your pension and then return to work, your monthly pension income will stop if you work regularly in a bargaining unit position for a participating employer. You and your employer will pay contributions to the plan, and any credited service you have earned since you started working will be added to your pension when you do retire fully. Your pension will continue if you work less than 19 hours a week for a participating employer. And your pension will continue regardless of your employment status if you work after December 1st of the year in which you turn age 71. At this time, you will not be eligible to earn additional credited service, but you will also not pay contributions. All right, now let's get into the practicalities of applying for and receiving your pension. You must apply to receive a pension from the plan. It is not automatic. We recommend applying at least 3 months before you expect to retire, as it can take some time to gather the required documents and process the application. You can start to receive a pension as early as age 55, and you must start receiving it in December 1st of the year you turn 71. Your pension cannot be backdated. And your pension income from the plan is considered taxable income, and we can withhold the tax for you. If you intend to retire in the near future, let us know. We'll provide you with a pension estimate. And then once you've decided to retire, you'll be required to complete an application package. In that application package, we'll ask for an application form that's to be completed by you and your employer. You'll also be asked to complete a pension option election form where you let us know which pension option you wish to receive. You'll also be asked to complete a spousal status declaration where you let us know whether or not you have a spouse. You'll also be required, if applicable, to fill in a beneficiary designation form designating your spouse or another person as the beneficiary to your pension, depending on the option that you select. You'll also be required to submit a direct deposit form so that we can directly deposit your pension into your bank account. And with that, you'll also send in a void check or an MICR encoding of your bank details so we can complete those transactions for you. And then so we can withhold your taxes, you'll also be completing personal tax credit return forms. Along with your application package, we'll also ask you to submit a copy of your proof of age identification. This can be a birth certificate, your driver's license, Canadian citizenship, Nexus card, or passport. So a copy of one of those documents. If the name on this proof of age document is different from your current name, we also require proof of your name change, such as a marriage certificate. If you do have a spouse and you select an option that does not provide them with lifetime coverage, your spouse is also required to sign a spousal waiver giving up their right to lifetime pension benefits, and this spousal waiver must also be notarized. If you have any specific questions about your pension, our pension specialists are here to help you. They can help you complete the required forms and explain all your options in detail. They do not, however, provide any financial advice. For that, we recommend you speak to an independent financial advisor. That concludes the end of our presentation. I will be opening the floor up now for questions. A few of them have come in, so we'll go over those, and please feel free to add in any questions you have into the question box. If we don't get through all of the questions today, we will follow up with you via email as we have a list of all the questions that come in. And a note that this recording will be posted on our website in a couple of days, so you can refer back to it at any time as well. I have with me here Mariana, a pension specialist, and she'll be helping me answer these questions. So we have one question that says, at age 55, if you want to retire, what would your pension look like in terms of rate of benefits? So I hope we've addressed this in the presentation. In terms of if you are a deferred member or an active member, it really depends upon the situation and also how much credited service you have earned in the plan. If you would like an estimate of your pension or to know more detail, we can be in touch with you and provide specific information according to your circumstance. So I do have a question here that says, what happens to medical coverage after I retire? So I'll pass that on to Mariana.
That's a great question. With regards to medical and dental benefits, there are no medical or dental benefits with this plan. You will be responsible for purchasing these benefits independently.
Thanks, Mariana. So I have a question here that says, if you retire at 60 and get 100% of your pension, does your pension get reduced at age 65?
This would depend on the pension option that was chosen at retirement. Again, if you had chosen a supplementary option, then at 65, your benefit would be reduced. But if you chose a normal benefit at age 60, then your benefit will remain the same at 65.
Great, thanks, Mariana. So this question here is a good one. It says, if I die before applying for my pension, does my spouse get any benefit?
So yes, when a plan member passes away prior to receiving benefit, their spouse will be entitled to receive either a lump sum value of the pension, or they are eligible to receive a monthly annuity effective the month following the death date.
Thanks, Mariana. And I'll add to that one that it's important in this case that we have your beneficiary on file. So if you have married and haven't let the plan know, or your marriage status has changed, please contact us and we will get you to complete a new beneficiary application form for that situation. So there's a bunch of questions coming in. We're just taking the time to answer them. So I have one here that says, if I wanted to take a lump sum payout when I retire, how do I find out the exact value of the payout, what it will be, and the instructions on how to go about doing this? So I'll pass that to Mariana.
In retirement, when a member is over the age of 55, you will be eligible to receive a monthly benefit. However, not all members will be eligible to receive a lump sum, only those that are a small benefit. They will be eligible for a small benefit lump sum.
Great, thanks, Mariana. So if you have any questions and want to know if that would apply to you, if you're close to reaching retirement age, you can contact us and we can let you know an estimate of what you can expect your pension to be and whether or not you'd qualify to withdraw your money out as a lump sum. Another question here says, can I use excess hours for past years?
Excess hours are used for the current year, but are not used for past years.
Okay, thanks. Another question here says, can the joint spousal amount be less than 60% but more than 0?
The joint spousal amount, the lowest amount is 60%.
Okay, thanks. So here's another question. It says, if you retire at age 55 at 82%, so you retire early and get that benefit, does it increase to 56 at age 56 to 86% and so on to 100% at age 60?
So if you retire at age 55 at 82%, it will stay at that value for the remainder of your lifetime. So it does not increase with each year.
Okay, another question that's come through says, does the plan require notice to retire, or will pension payments start the day that I quit and retire, even though I give no prior notice to my employer or the plan?
So we do ask members to contact the plan approximately 3 months prior to the intended retirement date or when you'd like to start receiving your benefit. Your pension will not start automatically. You need to contact us to apply.
Okay, thanks. I have here a question about the Canadian pension. So what happens if I take a Canadian pension plan at age 60? Does that have any bearing on this plan?
It does not affect this plan.
Great. So we've got time here for 2 more questions. There's a couple that have come in. Okay, so this one says, I have 25 years but have not worked in the industry for 10 years. I'm 60 and work another line of work. Because I work outside the plan, can I collect without any reduced rates from now until I turn 65?
That would all depend. Now, if you have inactive service, then if you apply at age 60, so before age 65, it will be at the reduced rate. Otherwise, you will be entitled to 100% of your accrued benefit at age 65.
Another question here says, at age 60, at 100% of your pension, does it stay at that for your lifetime?
Yes, if you applied for your pension benefit at the age of 60 and it was 100%, it will stay at that amount for the rest of your life.
Okay, so here's a question from a member, and it says, how do we get the application form? My husband is blind and is on disability now, but will be 65 in March of 2019. We should probably apply soon for his pension.
You can obtain an application form on the plan's website. Otherwise, you are welcome to contact the direct pension line and request an application or a pension package.
Thanks. So I'll take one more question here. Okay, so the final question here is there an added cost of living benefit for each year?
The pension benefits with this plan are not indexed, so there will not be a cost of living raise each year.
Okay, thanks, Mariana. That's all the time we have to address questions. Thanks everyone so much for joining in. There were a few questions that we didn't have time to discuss, and we'll follow up directly with you via email. Thanks so much, and again, we'll be posting a copy of this on our website in just a few days. Thank you.
Thank you.